Damn. Fucking bringing it back.
You know.
Damn. Such
All
a
right.
sad song.
Put your hair down in your eyes.
All right, you ready? Welcome, everybody, to a new portion of the Drop Culture Podcast. We're going to come in with these every other week, and they're 30-minute podcasts, and we're just going to talk about current events. So, first off, I'm Brock. To the right of me, I have...
My name's Mitchell.
To the left of me, I have...
Call me Dan.
What we really want to accomplish with this one is just kind of some current events, kind of keep everything going, give you a little bit more content, what we're really digging on, what we're liking to see, previews, comic books, music, anything like that. So I think really the very first thing that we really want to talk about is something that everybody's been watching on the preview, and that's the new Joker movie. Yes. I think that one is going to be fucking killer.
It's definitely going to be dark. I'm excited about it.
The people that I've watched it with, like I watched it with you the very first time, Mitch.
Yeah, that was sick.
And it was just like, this is fucking badass.
Yeah,
I could
awesome.
see the potential in this fucking movie being so fucking great. And then most people that don't really watch anything but the comic book movies, don't know about comic books, don't want to watch this one.
Well, so
Weird.
I'm kind of torn, to be honest with you. I really want to see it. I'm excited for it. But I do, and I know that that's based on a comic run. Man, I really like the Joker not having an origin.
Yeah.
Makes
It was
him
always
so
that
much more.
mysterious.
Exactly.
But what's really
exactly.
cool about this one, it's an Elseworlds kind of a deal.
Sure,
It's
sure.
a different part of the DC universe,
Because
but
Joaquin
not really.
Phoenix isn't Jared Leto.
Yeah.
And Jared Leto ain't Joker.
Well, speaking of who's in it,
Truth.
we got Joaquin Phoenix. This new person, this Zazie Beetz. I don't know if I'm saying it correct. And she's playing the love interest, and then we got Robert De Niro. Now, what I read so far, because there's not really a big synopsis about it, it's about a failed comedian.
Yeah.
Kind of losing his way, but then kind of society is kind of fucking with him. But this is set in 1981, so it's even
okay.
crazier, right?
Yeah.
And I found that out today. They kind of inspired, the whole thing is inspired by a lot of the Scorsese movies, like Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, King of Comedy. And that's where Robert De Niro's character kind of comes from, too, is loosely based off of another character from the King of Comedy, from what I understand. So they're kind of adding that stuff in there.
So yeah, that was in the original comic as well, that he was, a failed comedian.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
With the Killing Joke.
With the Killing Joke,
yeah.
not the original
Yeah.
Joker.
Right.
Yeah.
That alternate.
And
yeah.
just real quick, Zazie Beetz was Domino in Deadpool
Oh,
2.
okay. See,
Yeah.
so that makes sure
Oh.
that makes sense. Yeah, and
that's cool.
didn't without the makeup and without the hair and everything like that, I
Absolutely.
didn't really know who it was.
Without her super luck power.
She's got all of them.
A lot of the people in this are good character actors, and so you've seen them in a lot of other things, and they're bringing a lot of these really good people into this movie. So I think it's going to be one of those that I'm hoping that a lot of true comic book fans are really like, really get into.
I think even beyond that, I think Time Warner is making or Warner Media or whatever it is now that AT&T owns them. I don't know. I think they're really going the right direction, and let's make a good movie.
Yes.
Let's not worry about all the connectivity.
What toys we're going to sell.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that DC's always been, they've always tried to do is sell the most toys and the most merchandising and the most everything. But
And
this
that's
is a
why
movie.
a lot of those movies ever get made is just to sell toys. And
Yeah.
I will say that's probably on Marvel's side too, to some degree.
Yeah, everywhere you go, everything's on clearance now because it's even though the Avengers Endgame hasn't come out,
Right.
all their toys are pretty much on clearance. Now I'm just fucking with you.
No,
That's what
they're
it seems
half
like.
off.
That's what it seems like. Yeah.
Anybody?
Damn.
They know snap that price, bitches.
Blue light special. Purple light special.
Well, it's coming out on October 4th. So it's coming out at a really good time, too. I think at the end of the year, kind of right before all of the holiday movies come out. So it's going to have a lot of steam that it's going to gain by just the press releases that they're going to have. And I think it's going to be really great. I really do.
So a lot of people don't like Joaquin Phoenix for some reason, but I think he is a phenomenal actor.
Yes.
Like every role he pours himself into.
He does a great job at every single thing that he does.
Absolutely.
I don't know if there's really a bad movie. And if anybody wants to, chime in on our Facebook page or anything like that and say what's a bad movie, that would be really awesome.
Well, Brock, you hate Signs.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't bad in it. He's a good actor.
He was the good part of the movie.
He was
Okay.
kind of, I hate M. Night Shyamalan anyway.
Well, that was
Fucking
just
worst.
bad writing.
It was just bad altogether. Well, anybody that's in one of his movies is fucking shitty. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just the bottom line to me.
Just
That's
gonna
my
happen.
opinion.
Except for McAvoy, because in Split, he
McAvoy
made
Split.
that movie.
He's the
made
only
it.
reason why I could stand to watch that movie again.
Dude, it was so good.
And I've said that multiple
Yeah,
times too.
he makes it. He 100%.
He's
owns
just
it.
a great actor
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
My whole idea is whenever they said on the very first day of filming, they're like, okay, imagine all that shit that you learned in acting school and all this stuff that you've done really well. Fucking forget about it. Act like you're 14 years old and this
Yeah.
is your first time behind a camera.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, thanks, M. Night Shyamalan. It's totally freedom. And it sucks.
Thank you, Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Shamalama.
What a twist.
Okay, and
What a
then
twist.
and then the movie that you were wanting to
Well, before we get to that, let's stay with the DC, because there was a casting announcement about Idris Elba going to be in the new Suicide Squad, the James Gunn Suicide Squad.
I did not know James Gunn was behind that now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know a lot about it,
Yeah.
so this is kind of cool.
So
news.
James, so two things on that real quick. We'll get into that movie
Yeah.
in just a minute. But James Gunn also got re-signed to do Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yes.
Yeah, I
he
saw
kinda
that
So
the other
as
day.
soon as Suicide Squad's done, he's going to start on Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is amazing.
That is
Yeah.
awesome news. And
I
it's
thought
weird
so as well.
that he's doing DC then Marvel like that, like boom boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
So-
cool. It's like J.J. Abrams, Star
Yeah,
Trek, Star
exactly.
Wars, you know.
To
Yeah,
keep
pretty cool.
one last note on the Joker as well, the one thing that they do a lot is like Marvel makes a cinematic universe because they make their own like cinematic music and they have their own soundtrack and score, you know, with orchestra.
Yeah.
And then you always get like the bam, 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 da, 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 da. And then it's like an actual song, either old, new, whatever it is. But I just watched Venom, and even Venom, they threw like a song in there where he's like going wild, and it's like a and like they're actually like an actual song. I'm not gonna lie, every single time I watch a DC movie and it does that, it takes me out of it. Trailers, go ahead, do
Yeah,
whatever you want.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah.
like Guardians of the Galaxy are the only ones that kind of have pulled that off to where it went with the story.
Right,
But they
right.
still didn't use that as their crutch or anything.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel as cheesy.
That movie's caused
Agreed.
those older films or those older songs to get back on the charts again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
mean,
crazy.
That's one of the things that people are looking for too. Is what's the next mixtape?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now
It's exactly
now it's
it.
kind of prevalent because of that.
Right.
Which is really cool. So.
They're like, you know, some old bands like, come on. You know, just like, it's almost there.
yeah. We got to get all Crimson and Clover up in here.
Crimson and Clover.
So when they first announced that Idris Elba was going to be in this, he was supposedly going to be taking the place of Will Smith as Deadshot, because Will Smith's got other things to do apparently.
Wow.
And he did do a great job in that role.
Yeah.
He was the only person, in my opinion, that did a great job in that movie.
That was his movie. That was his movie.
Suicide Squad?
Even though everybody
Yeah.
in Suicide Squad and everybody watches that movie, all about Harley Quinn.
Right.
100%.
But it was a Deadshot movie.
But it was a Deadshot movie to me.
I
He took
hate to say
over.
this because this doesn't happen too often. Will Smith sucked in that movie. I
thought he
Will
was.
Smith.
I thought he was very. He played it really low key.
Yeah.
So he wasn't trying to be the main person, which he can take over any kind of movie just by him being in it now
Maybe
because
it's
he's such a
because-
blockbuster guy.
Right. Like The Rock taking
Yeah.
a role.
I think it just happened to be too much of backing off. I don't know, but it felt like he was trying to be cool. Like he was trying to
In
be
a way,
like
I can see
silent
that.
and tough.
I can
Yeah,
agree.
sure.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to be a badass, but you're not a badass
Not really, yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Like that, you know.
Yeah.
Like it didn't sell to me that he was actually Deadshot.
Yeah.
So for me, like I just didn't get into it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The Deadshot Lawton character is kind of an ass anyways. I mean, like that kind of...
They made him into a hero.
Yeah.
They really did.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was his portrayal of him, which is cool. You know, it's a
Right.
different take on it. And
It's
I mean, to me, he made the movie. Everybody's going to disagree with that.
Right.
You know, 100%.
Except for me, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie's made a good Harley Quinn. She did
She did
fine.
good. Yeah.
I'm not excited that she's going to be one of the main focuses of the new Birds of Prey movie at all. I was excited to see the rest of that happen.
Yeah. She didn't carry this movie like Will Smith did.
And maybe that's best for her not to.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just for her to be in that. But it just seems like they had this Birds of Prey movie, and they're like, "How do we get Harley Quinn in this?"
Yeah.
You
How
know?
are we gonna add to the more popularity of this character?
Exactly.
No, you're just
exactly.
talking about the actress, not Harley Quinn in the Birds of Prey. Like
Yeah.
she's not playing.
No,
Harley
she is
Quinn.
playing Harley Quinn.
What's the Birds of Prey then? I'm missing something.
Birds of Prey is like Huntress, Batgirl. Who am I
This is
missing?
that Disney Plus
Oracle?
thing.
No. Yeah, it's a whole different company. This is a movie that'll be coming out later on.
Isn't it Oracle? It used to be
Oracle.
the
Well,
old
that was
Batwoman.
Batgirl,
Yeah.
but I don't think they're gonna. And again, I would
They
have
might not add it into it. So it
right.
might be
And so it's a
another
little
kind of-
bit different lineup than what you would expect, which is kind of unfortunate because honestly, Batgirl to me, like, and when I say Batgirl, I don't mean like Cassandra Cain, which is I believe who this one is in the movie, but Barbara Gordon is one of my favorite characters. Like Oracle, when she becomes Oracle, she's badass, dude. Like she kicks some people's ass while she's in a wheelchair, and they like assault her outside of this, like on the street.
Wow.
Well, subsequently to tie back to the Joker story,
Right.
she got shot in that Alan Moore Joker, the Killing Joke.
Yep.
And which made her put her in the wheelchair. So it's just pretty crazy.
So back to my original point of this whole thing is Idris Elba will be playing a brand new character to the movies, and it sounds like it's going to have like almost a completely whole new lineup. Now, the characters that will stay will be Amanda Waller, which I think is the good connective tissue for it.
That's how they've done it in the comic book or in the animated movies.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because Amanda Waller really is that weird shadow glue, if that makes any sense.
If it does, it's weird.
Is it like a plasma?
Right? Yeah. It's the goo that binds them. It's the plasma goo.
One goo to bind them.
To bind them all. Okay.
Yikes.
So to move on.
Sounds like a great porn.
Those sound like two really good movies that are going to be really cool. When is that one coming out? No street date?
That's a good question. But I want to talk about the Eternals movie.
Go for it. Yeah.
So the other movie coming out is a Marvel movie. It's a Phase 4 Marvel movie. Is the Eternals. Angelina Jolie just got signed to be in it. They haven't announced her character. Got a pretty good guess. It's going to be Cersei. And there's also talking about Hercules being in this movie.
Oh,
which would be perfect because he's an Avenger.
That's
a good tie.
And I really think that this movie is going to be what's going to let you get a little more into the history, like of how the Eternals and the Deviants were made by the Celestials, how the human potential for the X gene was planted by the Celestials.
Okay.
That could be a good tie-in for
And then we could bring some X-Men in. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited for that movie. It was kind of weird to me that they were like, hey, we're going to make an Eternals movie because, like, I know who the Eternals are. Mitch, do you know who the Eternals are?
Kind of, yes. I do, and I don't. I've read about them.
Is it because you've had to read about stuff for this?
Probably.
Okay.
No, but I did hear about them beforehand, and then I've done some research, especially with the Marquis of Death. A little bit of that, so I do know a little bit about them, but not a lot at all.
Okay. Well, we're not going to get too deep into that right now, but I just wanted to mention that movie's coming out, and that's I think the first announced Phase 4 movie.
That's cool.
Yeah. I would assume that Ant-Man 3 will be a Phase 4 movie as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If this one's the first announced one,
but
if anybody has
a totally
any information,
new movie is what I was going with. It's like this is something that we haven't seen yet.
We might post something about that on Facebook or something like that.
Yeah,
just
jump in conversation, kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Comment if you want to see Rob Schneider as Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider as the Ant-Man.
Too many cats.
Too many cats.
Okay, so moving on here. TV series. The TV series that I've been watching that's really awesome is What We Do in the Shadows. Have you guys watched that yet?
I have not, but I've seen
fucking
a bunch
hilarious. The new one is fucking great. If you watch it, it's on FX. It's fucking funny. Jermaine Clement, he's been directing them all. Takia Waititi, if I'm saying his name correct.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Close.
It's okay.
Whatever. It starts with a T. He directed the first episode.
Ends with a T.
And they're producing it, and it's actually pretty fucking good. Just like the movie that they made. It's fucking pretty awesome. So you guys get a chance. Then another one that I was looking up. They're coming out with the Wu-Tang docuseries.
What?
It'll be pretty crazy. So they're going to have like archival footage, all kinds of stuff.
And it's a series?
Yeah, and it's going to be like a 4-part little docuseries, which is going to be pretty cool.
36 episodes.
That would be awesome. 36 chambers.
That's right.
If you've ever listened to Wu-Tang, that's all they talk about.
36.
One of the best rap albums, 36
of
chambers.
All time. Yeah. It's kind of listed on the top 10 of greatest of all time. It's great. And I mean, there's a lot of cool shit in it. Is there any TV shows you guys are watching right now?
I've been keeping up with Doom Patrol. It's really good, funny. And I just started something on Netflix called The Order.
Doom Patrol I've been told to watch. Still haven't got a chance to. The Order I've heard a lot about.
So, yeah, Doom Patrol is really insane. And, not to dig too far back, but the Doom Patrol comic came out 2 months before X-Men did. And their leader's in a wheelchair, and they're a bunch of misfits. Just going to throw that out there.
It's all there.
Just putting it out there.
But it's really good. Brendan Fraser does a voice of one of the main characters, Robot Man.
That's what I heard.
And he does a great job. He's not the actual actor that plays him.
Have you seen him, though, lately? I saw a couple of pictures of him.
He's starting to finally look old.
Yeah.
Finally?
Yeah.
Yeah, like for the last 10 years, you look like you got rode hard and put away what?
Yeah, and then beat up.
I didn't even
feel bad for the dude because he's fucking got some awesome movies. He's always been really good.
Absolutely.
Except for G.I. Joe. Sorry.
It was his own fault. I told him not to go on that trip to Vegas. No, one show that I've been watching is on Netflix called Love, Death, Robots. Love, Death, and Robots.
What?
It's absolutely amazing. It's animated for most of it, right? But every single episode is done with a different art style, right? So